Klobuchar's entry into the race for Minnesota governor represents a big shakeup in that contest. And for some insights, we turn to our political expert, Shane Baker, joining us live again from Rochester this morning. And Shane, a lot of pundits are saying that this is now Klobuchar's race to lose. Do you agree that this could really be a slam dunk for her?
I don't know if it's hers to lose or the slam dunk, but I think she's definitely the favorite. When you think about her statewide profile, name recognition, overall popularity, she's certainly at a huge advantage. And on the other side, she definitely has decades worth of votes that she'll have to be justifying. She'll certainly be asked about. She'll have to run on her record, which I think she sees as an advantage. Republicans would see as an opportunity.
What is the right approach for Republicans? They're not only facing a lot of competition within their own party, but now also a DFL candidate who has won 4 statewide races.
Yeah, so I think we're going to see a couple things emerge, and the story really highlighted that. I think we're going to see Republicans try to link Klobuchar to Tim Walz as much as possible. Certainly, Walz is popular in some pockets of Minnesota and wildly unpopular in other parts. I think they'll try as much as possible to link Klobuchar to the bad parts of Walz, if you will. I think the other thing that they'll try to do is talk about her. She's an insider. She's all about government. I think they'll try to run from an outside perspective, which will be easier for somebody like a Mike Lindell or a Kendall Qualls, a little bit harder for somebody like the Speaker of the House. So we will start to see those contrasts coming out. Like, hey, if you were so well qualified to do these things, why haven't you done them? You're just Tim Walz 2.0. She'll stress, I would imagine, her bipartisan record, her long history of popular reform in Minnesota, as well as her previous career as a prosecutor in Hennepin County.
And Shane, of course, we've also seen a major shift in the headlines in Minnesota over the past couple of months. Until a few weeks ago, widespread fraud was really the big talking point around here. Now, the ongoing ICE operations have really dominated the headlines. How do you think all that is affecting the race for both parties now?
Realistically, I think that actually is a super interesting and plays in the favor of Senator Klobuchar. Certainly, I think she was well prepared in her campaign plan to talk about fraud, again, as a former prosecutor. And then there really has been, or I should say rather, Amy Klobuchar has really gone out of her way to be an advocate for people who are maybe being marginalized or targeted by ICE from her perspective. And so people have really rallied around her in that area and in those ways. So I think that really sets up the conversation to be two-pronged on fraud and how do we push back against maybe federal government encroachment. I think we'll see Republicans say, you were from the federal government. If we didn't like the federal government encroachment, who was better prepared to push back than you? Why didn't you? I think that ongoing fight will be a big part of what's happening. And then with Tim Walz sort of to the side, I think Republicans will be looking for not so much a Tim Walz attack, but a Amy Klobuchar defend your record attack.
Very well. Going to be an interesting election year, Shane.
Well said. Well
All
said.
right. Well, always appreciate your insights, Shane. Thanks so much for taking the time this morning. We'll see you next time.